When Frank Herbert wrote the book, and when the book was out, he was disappointed how people perceived Paul's character. He felt that people thought that Paul was a hero. And for him, Paul was an anti-hero. He was a dark figure. He was a danger. He wanted Dune to be a warning against charismatic figures. And for that, he wrote Dune Messiah, to like an epilogue that will correct the view on the first book. So me, I know that. I had the benefit to know that. So when I wrote the adaptation, I made sure to try to make sure that I was closer to Frank Herbert's initial intentions. Footprints becomes a nightmare because you of course you can erase some of them with computers, but we had to protect and to make sure because otherwise it could also become a nightmare for VFX. So it was like it's like working in the snow. Sand can be painful with footprints, and the sand everywhere in the equipment, and the camera that you have to put ice packed on the camera because it's too hot, and etc. etc. It's like my crew was very generous to accept to shoot in so harsh conditions here.
The only thing is it just got in my eyes a lot.
Did it?
Yeah, I did a lot of eye rinsing.
Really?
Every day at the end of work, I would always be like, dang, I got another piece of sand in my eye. So I'd have to like, and I do the rinse and whatever. But that's the only thing I can say. Honestly, it was such a beautiful place to be able to shoot. It felt like such a privilege to be there. That, how can you complain when you see that view that's where you get to work. So yeah, I'll take the sand in my eye,
Every set, we were exactly where we're supposed to be for every shot and every scene. So the physical experience is arduous, and exhausting over the course of months between Jordan and Abu Dhabi in the sand. But the practical experience as the actor or the character within the scene, that's exactly where you would be. If you were on a war path, I can only imagine that would be exhausting.
There was tremendous amount of work that was put into the design of this sequence to bring the power of that beast that is hidden under the sand as present as possible, as realistic as possible, and as impressive as possible. You will never have that experience at home. It's impossible. So it's like though again, part 2, like part 1, is a love letter to the big screen experience, and we put everything out there to make it a complete cinematic experience. So I hope people will go to see it in theaters. That's the only way you can really see the movie, in my opinion. My goal at the beginning was to adapt Dune, the first book. I finished it. It would make sense to me to finish Paul Atreides' arc with Dune Messiah, the second book, and to make a trilogy. That was like the first thought, so that's in the work right now, and when I'll have a solid screenplay, there's strong chances that I go back to Arrakis.